We've got to go all the way back to 1959 for the last horse to win the Epsom and the Cox Plate. It's a long, long time. That's the task ahead for Winx.
Two brilliant, amazing, phenomenal wins this time in, running freak sectionals. Her form can be tied in through Gust of Wind, who ran well in that deep and fast Caulfield Cup. She's in the game for me.
All right, they are all the runners.
Who would I be riding in this?
Well, you just saw Highland Reel, and I watched your face because he's really sweating up under the saddle, this son of Galileo. If I gave you one horse to ride in the race, who would you want to be on?
Winx would suit me. I'd just ride her back. I wouldn't panic on her, and she's got the right jockey on, and Huey Bowman is riding very well, and he hasn't won one of the big ones, Huey, either.
That's right.
So he's due because he's riding that good, and this could be the one. I don't think there's actually a lot of chances. You got the 5 top ones, and Winx, Kermadat, Criterion, and of course the 2 English horses, and then there's a gap.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for a roughie, maybe Hart now. He's tough and he's an English bred, and if he gets into that tough drill down the side, and he's running 4th or 5th, and we've seen it's on front runners today, and these other things are getting into trouble like Winx and Kermadat back. A horse like Hart now on the pace isn't the worst.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's so many permutations here for the Cox Plate. There is Highland Reels on our screens. He certainly is a muck lather at the moment, but he was like that in the Secretariat Stakes. He's a very free sweater, so the punters shouldn't be too alarmed. Well, or should they? But it's certainly not a positive anyway.
It's not a positive, but look, being in Hong Kong, a lot of horses sweat and it doesn't affect them.
Here's Arod as well. Arod certainly looks a little warm, a son of Teofilo, and Entire as well. He's only had the 11 starts, so only lightly raced. You could imagine this is probably what we thought, Gator.
Yeah, that's right. Look, the first couple hundred metres is going to be crucial here. Obviously, everyone's been looking at the same map now for a week. They know there's going to be high pressure early. Last year, it was brutal early. This year, that first couple hundred metres, the jockeys will be looking around, saying, where can we settle? Can we get a spot?
All right, they're loading for the Cox Plate. Let's go to Greg Miles to call the action for the 2015 Cox Plate.
Great move on course for Winx. She's into $4.60 from $5. A firm favourite drawn down on the inside. Hugh Bowman's taken her into the stalls. Galo Shop's moved up, and Preferment has lined in as well. 7 down to $6 for Criterion, but the favourite is Winx at $4.70, $5.70 Criterion on Super Tab, and $7.20 for Highland Reel. Here's Kermadat. Kermadat lining into the gates. Glenn Boss on board looking for his second victory in this great race. Gatto Shop, Preferment, Kermadat standing well. Winx drawn the inside, the cleaner, and Hartnell alongside of her. She's the lone mare in the field. It wasn't a mare's race for a long, long time, but they've got a good record recently. Now Highland Reel comes along, and Pornichet have announced they're going back from that awkward barrier draw for him. Here's Arod coming up for Craig Williams, who knows his way around Moonee Valley so well. Now Mourinho takes his spot near the outside. There'll be 2 on his outside when they go. They're nearly ready. Now Complacent with a white cap. You got Hartnell with the Godolphin blue. Criterion still away with Faulkner, who was a game second last year. So Complacent moved in alongside Arod and Highland Reel. Galo Shop down well. Happy Trails lines in. His 4th run in a Cox Plate. They're nearly ready. Criterion has joined them. Happy Trails is set. So it'll be Faulkner for Damien Oliver to take the outside stall. The favourites in barrier 1. Here's Faulkner. He goes in. They're set. Stand by for the greatest 2 minutes in sport. They're off. And Winx jumped okay with the cleaner. Highland Reel away brilliantly. He's out having a peep for the lead. Criterion went over their heels at the start. Complacent, Arod are up there at the post, and then Mourinho and Galo Shop not far away. Down past the judge, and the cleaner has the lead from Arod. Highland Reel just box-seated beautifully right behind them. Then Complacent moving to fourth, followed by Hartnell. Winx on the rail about sixth. Mourinho wide around Galo Shop. Criterion at the 1600. Pornichet on the inside of Kermadec, and then Preferment. Happy Trails and Faulkner went back to last. Up the side, 1400 left to go, and the cleaner has the lead. Just over a length in front of Arod running second. Highland Reel is third. Complacent in the white cap is trapped out deep. He's fourth and on the improve, followed by Hartnell and Winx on the rail about 4 or 5 lengths away from the leader. They're followed by Mourinho, who's wide, and then Galo Shop midfield. Criterion the rail, a length and a half to Kermadec, Pornichet, then Preferment, Faulkner, and Happy Trails was now last. 1,000 metres to go, and the cleaner is the leader in the Cox Plate. Arod a little bit keen second, Highland Reel third, Complacent deep out, and then came Winx getting up on the inside to fifth, one in front of Hartnell. Mourinho's been deep. Criterion over on the inside as they run the 800 metres turn. Galo Shop works clear. Kermadec about to go wide. Then Pornichet, Preferment, Happy Trails out wide. Faulkner last of all. The cleaner at the school, the leader. From on the outside, Complacent and Arod. Highland Reel is still there from Mourinho. Winx, well, Bowman's got plenty to give, and he's getting an inside run, and Criterion tried to follow him home, just had to clip off heels there. Winx got the dream run and shot to the lead from the cleaner. Criterion trying to get going with Highland Reel. They're followed by Hartnell and Happy Trails right off the track, but Winx is away and gone round the home turn. 3 lengths in front of Highland Reel, Criterion, and then came the cleaner, but Winx is well clear from Criterion and Highland Reel. Winx kept going by Hugh Bowman. What a win! Winx has bolted in the Cox Plate by 4 lengths to Criterion. Highland Reel ran third, Pornichet 4, then Hartnell, Faulkner, the cleaner, Galo Shop, followed by Preferment, Arod. Back behind them is Happy Trails and Mourinho. Kermadec is second last. Last to finish was Complacent. She's blitzed them in the Cox Plate.
The 95th WS Cox Plate has gone to a champion mare. Her name is Winx, and she has smashed the course record. 2 minutes 02.98. She's beaten the record that was set by Might and Power when he was victorious in 1998. That is an outstanding performance by a 4-year-old mare, giving Chris Waller the first of the big 4 majors of Australian racing for him in taking out the Cox Plate. Similarly for Hugh Bowman, the first of the big 4 for him, and she has absolutely destroyed this high-class field. Number 14, Winx, heavily backed here on track. She has started the favourite. She's defeated Criterion, who trailed her through. He's been brave to run second, and Highland Reel, the import, on speed. He stuck to his guns, a mighty effort. 14, Winx, Chris Waller, Hugh Bowman, $4.50 and $2.20. Second one, Criterion, Michael Walker, David Hayes, Tom Dabenig, $2.20. And 13, Highland Reel, Ryan Moore for Aidan O'Brien, $3. 14, 1, 13, 7. Fifth in is number 4. And as I mentioned, it is a track record, 2:02.98. Here's winning rider Hugh Bowman, who joins Sam.
Hugh Bowman, outstanding ride on Winx. And just as these jockeys come past, you just pull up, you've taken a deep breath, and you're just so overwhelmed.
All I wanted to be when I was a little boy was be a jockey. To be here riding on this stage is one thing, but to win a race like this, I can't tell you how much it means, and I'm so thankful, obviously, to Chris Waller and the connections of the horse, but to my family and friends that are here, my 2 little girls at home, and Julie, my wife Christine's here. It's just, I just can't believe it, to be honest.
Hugh, tell us about the run of the race. You just gave her a charmed ride.
Well, I drew barrier 1, and I had a lot of confidence in the mare, and I was a bit worried coming down this side here. You know, Highland Reel was staying 1.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Sammy. Thank you.
Extraordinary emotion there from winning rider Hugh Bowman. Justine Hales is so important to the Chris Waller team. Justine, this is an amazing result.
It is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful for Chris and all his hard work and all the brilliant owners and the staff. It's amazing. Hugh rode her so well, and Barrier 1 was obviously a gift. It was the right choice.
I can see the emotion on your face, the early mornings, the hard work that goes in to training a racehorse. It must be an extraordinary feeling now to have won one of the big 4.
It's great. It's just amazing that, you know, all the owners, even the ones in the other horses, they just said, we just want one of Chris's horses to win, and it's just brilliant for the stable. It just means everything.
She's a pretty special horse. She trailed through and then she showed electrifying acceleration when the gap opened for her.
She's got an amazing turn of foot, and to hold on the whole way down the straight, she's just an exceptional filly, and she's proving now that her wins, they weren't just flukes. She's actually got the form, and she's one to beat maybe next year again.
It's always a tough thing once a horse goes to the classic level at 3. Can they make the transition and be a superstar at 4? Well, she's one of the few to have done it.
She is. She's almost a little bit, being a Kiwi, so she's a bit Sunline-like. So, no, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful for everyone.
And for you and your relationship with Chris Waller, what's he like as a boss?
He's great. He's a good boss. He's fair to all the staff. He knows all his horses so well, and he loves them all so much. And it's just a great thrill for him to win this, and for him and Steph and their family. It's brilliant.
Pretty special race mare in Winx, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's going to have a big place in everyone's heart, I think, in our stable now.
Justine, well done.
Thank you very much.
Justine Hales there from the Chris Waller team. She's such an important part of Chris's lineup of staff. Winx, dominant winner here. It's a big space margin. We'll get the official margin through, but as I mentioned, she's run a course record. She's won by 4 3/4 lengths. That's a demolition job by 3/4 of a length. 14-1, 13-7, 202.98. She's not only bettered Might and Power's track record, she smashed it. And she's put herself now in the rarest of territory, this mare. Of course, she burst into prominence with that performance during the winter when taking out the Queensland Oaks, and then the dominance that she's displayed in all 3 runs this campaign. It's just been a sight to behold. We'll have Chris Waller join me very shortly. Clint, that was outstanding.
Incredible performance. The crowd, it was just amazing, wasn't it? And Hugh Bowman, I thought there were 2 critical parts of the race, Shane. Firstly, when Highland Reel didn't commit to the fence, and Huey was happy just to pitch ground along the way. And the second part, when the cleaner rolled off.
Yeah, definitely the second part. Look, Ryan Moore, if you know English jockeys, they don't commit to the fence. They don't want to be on the fence. They want to give their horses room. So he was very lucky, Huey, that he knew up ahead of him there was always plenty of room. He could go wherever he wanted. And once he saw the cleaner, normally what would happen if they stay on the fence, he wouldn't have got a run. He would have been out of the race, but he saw at the half mile there was room. He didn't have to come out, and he went too soon on her, but it didn't matter, you know. There's Chris Waller.
Let's talking now to Shane Anderson.
Chris, many congratulations. Your 54th Group 1 success, but the first of the big 4 for you. This must be an amazing moment.
Yeah, it is. They're all been good moments, but yeah, it's starting to hit home now.
What is it about Winx that is so special?
She's fast. She's just won a Cox Plate. Just a superior athlete. I'm not just saying that, but just looking at her, you can see she's amazing.
I remember back to when she was beginning her career, you always talked her up. Did you ever think she'd go on, though, and become a Cox Plate winner?
No, you never do. Simple as that. We've obviously got a lot of good horses, but I don't even dare dream about Cox Plates.
Chris, let's talk through your plan for this race, because you had 3 runners. Winx with the inside barrier, was it always the intention at the barrier draw to go to the rail?
Yeah, well, there wasn't really an option from that gate, and we turned it into a positive. I was actually more happy with that gate than the other 2. You can't do it at both ends of a Cox Plate, any race for that matter, and he's just got a lovely run.
As you were watching the race unfold, and of course you had 3 runners in the race, but could you sense something special was coming?
I could see she was travelling pretty good. Yeah, I quickly lost sight of the other 2 when I saw her coming through them, and it wasn't a lot of room. Like, there was a lot of room on the rail. Actually, it wasn't that crowded, and no, it was terrific.
Not many horses possess her explosive acceleration, do they?
No, they don't. Thank goodness.
Chris, one last word though on Winx. What's the future hold for her?
Pretty good one.
Well done. Leave it at that. We'll come back to Chris very shortly. He's keen to get out to connections there after a demolition job by Winx. Clint, that was just simply extraordinary. Just a breathtaking burst of acceleration at the top of the straight.
No, absolutely, Shane. And, well, the best horse in the race has won. The best horse in the race had the best run in the race and was just far too good, Shane.
Everything you said. Now, here's the chopper. This is going to be classic from the half mile to see how they open up on the inside. You'll see Highland Reel here, up there outside the cleaner. He doesn't want to go to the fence, but that's not unusual because that's the way they ride. He could have got the perfect run, but he didn't want it.
He didn't want it, and now Hugh Bowman on Winx is in 5th, 6th position, the white sort of blue colours, and and they're well strung out, so the cleaner did set up a really, genuine
he
tempo.
went along, but also you got to remember, Criterion missed the start, and I'm sure they would have thought he was going to race a bit closer, and that put him back a little bit.
Yeah, this is very unusual, though, isn't it? Look at that rail between the leader and where Winx is. No one's committed to the fence.
No, well, you got the 2 English horses, and they need room, and they're told not to go to the fence.
Don't go there. Don't go there. And what's Hugh Bowman
now
thinking at this stage?
He knows where Huey is now. Now, if that's a normal Cox Plate, there's no way Winx is getting out. You're just boxed, and these horses back are coming once up and around. But Huey doesn't have to panic yet because they haven't got down the side, and the side is at the 800 metres.
Criterion is on the back of Winx at the moment. We're going to see the horse in front, the cleaner, just roll off. Not sure what caused that. Usually does rail pretty well, but he's just creeping close, and Criterion is also right on the back of Winx.
Yeah, well, we're about to turn into the school, and this is when the race starts to get going. Now, look where Winx is. He's past the school. Winx has come out, to go out, but now he's come back. Look, the second the A-Rod's come out. There's a big run. Ooh. He's gone too soon, but he's got to go. He's just got to. He hasn't got an option, and she just left him. She was just outstanding, too good.
She was. Criterion got a little bit of a steady there, but the way that Winx accelerated when he pushed the button was just explosive.
But she would have done that last start in the Epsom. He panicked on her in the Epsom, and he learned a lot from it. He tried to go at the 600 and clipped heels and nearly fell, and he realised what he had underneath him now could make up 5 lengths, which is a great horse, and 2 hops, and she did it today. Well done to All Connections. That was an incredible race. Let's take a look at the sectionals, and she's run home in 12.3 the last furlong, 23.9. So she's run the fastest last 400s, and she's just run home better than anything else from a lovely ride through. Yeah, let's take the steward's head on. This will be really interesting. These are the best shots. Now you see here. Keep an eye on Criterion at the very right of screen. This is where it opens up for the cleaner. It just opened up. And Huey's in front there, and he just comes in on Criterion. That could be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. It didn't affect the result of the race, but it didn't help Criterion. Criterion actually didn't have much luck in the race. He missed the start, right? He should have been probably 4 or 5 lengths closer, and that happened. But in saying that, he wouldn't have beat Winx no matter what. He wouldn't have beat him, but like I said when we were watching the helicopter view, he did have to steady when Huey was sort of angling off just slightly, but then the run was there, and when the acceleration was there for Winx, she just won supremely well. She's outstanding. Yep. Not many 3-year-old fillies come back to be champion 4-year-old mares. Not many. This is a champion 4-year-old mare.